Some brides walked to their wedding willingly, full of hope and dreams. Cassia walked to hers with a blade pressed against her spine, hidden beneath layers of silk, held by a guard who smiled pleasantly at the gathered crowd. But she felt it, the sharp point, the threat. One wrong move, one word, and her family would die. Her father, her mother, her twin sisters, all dead. Because Lady Morgana, the real bride, the noblewoman promised to the Wolf King, had vanished. She'd eloped with her lover, and the alliance between kingdoms depended on this marriage, so they'd found a replacement. A girl who looked similar enough behind a heavy veil. A weaver's daughter. Poor, desperate, expendable. Cassia. And now she was walking down the aisle toward a king she'd never met, wearing a stolen dress, about to commit the greatest fraud in history. She was going to die. She knew it. The moment he lifted that veil, the moment he saw she wasn't who he expected, execution. But if dying saved her family, if her death bought them safety, then she'd do it, even terrified, even knowing the outcome. What she didn't know, couldn't know, was that the king waiting at that altar would scent her before he saw her, would recognize instantly that she wasn't Lady Morgana, that she was something else, something impossible, his true mate. And when he growled those words low and possessive, claiming, "You're mine tonight," everything would change. Cassia had been born to a weaver named Roland, a skilled man who made tapestries for minor nobles. They'd never been wealthy, but they'd survived. Her mother, Lyra, helped with the loom and raised their daughters, Cassia and her twin sisters, Nera and Senna, barely 12 years old. They'd been happy enough. Then, 3 years ago, her father's eyesight started failing. Couldn't work the intricate patterns anymore. Couldn't earn. The debts piled. Rent, taxes, food, everything. Cassia tried to help. Learned the loom, took over the simpler commissions. She was decent. Not as skilled as her father, but decent. It wasn't enough. The money never stretched. The debt grew. Then the war came. Border conflicts between King Theron and the neighboring kingdom of Valdris turned brutal. Dragged on for years. Finally, peace talks began. A treaty would be sealed with marriage. King Theron would marry Lady Morgana, daughter of Duke Ashford of Valdris, uniting the kingdoms through blood. The wedding was planned. Months of preparation. The entire realm waiting, hoping, praying for peace. Then, 4 days before the wedding, Lady Morgana disappeared. She ran away. Left a note saying she was in love with someone else. A merchant's son. They'd eloped and were gone. Duke Ashford was devastated, furious, terrified. If the wedding didn't happen, the treaty failed. War resumed. His kingdom, his people would suffer. He needed a substitute. Someone who looked enough like Morgana to fool the king. At least long enough to sign the treaty, papers, and consummate the marriage to make it binding. Then they'd deal with the consequences. His men searched. Found Cassia delivering finished tapestries to the castle. Dark auburn hair like Morgana. Green eyes. Similar height and build in the right dress, behind the right veil. She could pass, for a moment. They came to her home at night. Guards and Duke Ashford himself. They explained the situation. Cassia refused. Of course she refused. This was insane. Illegal. Treason. "I don't have a choice to offer you, girl," the Duke said coldly. "You do this. Your family's debts are cleared. They're protected. Safe. You refuse? Your father is arrested for tax evasion. Your mother and sisters are left to starve. Or worse. Choose." What choice was that? No choice at all. She agreed. Numb, terrified. They took her that night to the castle, locked in a room for 4 days while she was prepared, dressed, trained. Don't speak unless spoken to. Keep your head down. Your veil thick. After the ceremony, you'll be taken to the king's chambers. By then, the treaty will be signed. You just have to get through the night. They were lying. She knew it. She'd be killed for fraud, for treason, for everything. But her family would be safe. That was something. The day of the wedding, she was dressed in Morgana's gown, ivory silk with gold embroidery. Beautiful, expensive, worth more than Cassia's entire life. The veil was thick, multiple layers. She could barely see through it, could barely breathe. Captain Dorian walked beside her, smiling at nobles, but his hand on her arm was iron. And she felt it, the blade hidden against her ribs. Remember, girl, one word, one sign. Your family dies. Understood? She nodded. Couldn't speak, her throat too tight. They walked toward the grand hall, toward her doom. King Theron stood at the altar, waiting. He'd agreed to this marriage reluctantly. Didn't want a political alliance. Didn't want a stranger as a wife. But the war needed to end. His people were suffering, dying. This marriage, this treaty would save them. So he'd agreed to marry Lady Morgana, a woman he'd never met, produce heirs, secure peace. It was duty, nothing more. He expected nothing. No love, no connection, just obligation. The music started. The doors opened. The bride entered. Veiled. He couldn't see her face, just her shape. Small, delicate. She walked slowly, hesitantly, nervous, of course. Most brides were nervous marrying a wolf king. She reached the altar, stood beside him. He could smell something faint through the veil, lavender and fear. She was terrified. He felt almost sorry for her. This wasn't what she wanted either, probably. The ceremony began. The priest spoke vows, promises. He said his part, mechanical, detached. She said hers, voice barely audible, shaking. So young. She sounded so young. Finally, "You may kiss the bride." He reached for the veil. She flinched slightly. He noticed. He pulled back. The layers. Revealed a face. Not Morgana. He'd seen portraits. This wasn't her. Similar, but not. Auburn hair, green eyes, but younger. Different features. Different everything. Who was this? Before he could speak, before he could question, the scent hit fully, without the veil blocking. Wildflowers. Rain. Earth. Mate. His wolf instincts roared, screamed. This was his true mate. Not Morgana. This stranger. This terrified girl was his fate. Destiny. Everything. He stared. She stared back. Tears in her eyes. Waiting for him to call out the fraud. To have her arrested. Killed. He kissed her instead. Sealed the marriage. Made it binding. When he pulled back, he whispered so only she heard. "Play along." "I know, but play along." Relief, confusion, fear, all flashed in her eyes, but she nodded slightly. The ceremony concluded. Treaty papers were signed. They were married, legally, magically, binding. And no one else knew she wasn't who she claimed, except him. The reception was torture. Cassia sat beside the king at the high table, barely breathing, barely moving. He knew she wasn't Morgana, but he hadn't exposed her yet. Why? What was he waiting for? He leaned close during a lull in conversation. "What's your name? Your real name?" "Cassia, Your Majesty." "Cassia." He tested it. Pretty name for a pretty fraud. She flinched. "I'm sorry, I didn't have a choice. They threatened my family." "I know. I could smell the fear, the coercion. You're not here willingly." "No." "Good. Then this isn't your fault. What happens next won't be either." What did that mean? The reception dragged on for hours. Finally, it ended. Tradition dictated the king and queen retire to the royal chambers for the wedding night. Cassia felt sick. This was where it ended, where he'd call guards, Have her arrested. Or worse. He stood, offered his hand. She took it, shaking. They walked through corridors. Servants watched, smiling, wishing them well. If only they knew, they reached his chambers. Massive doors. He opened them, gestured her inside. She entered, heard the doors close. Lock. They were alone. She turned, faced him, waiting for judgment, execution, whatever came. He was staring, not angry, not cold, something else, something intense. Take off the veil. Let me see you properly. She did. Hands shaking. Removed it. Stood exposed. Vulnerable. He circled her, studying. You look similar to Morgana. That's why they chose you. Yes? But you're not her. Not noble. What are you? Merchant? Artisan? Weaver's daughter, Your Majesty. Weaver. He stopped in front of her. They dragged you from your loom. Forced you into this dress. Threatened you. Made you commit treason. Yes. Do you know what the penalty for impersonating nobility is? For defrauding a king? She closed her eyes. Death. Yes. Death. Silence. Heavy. Oppressive. She waited for the order. The call for guards. Instead, open your eyes, Cassia. She did. He was closer. Inches away. I should execute you, by law, by right. You've deceived me. Deceived the kingdom. I know. I'm sorry. Just please, don't hurt my family. They didn't know. This was the Duke. He forced me. I know, and I won't hurt them. Or you. What? I don't understand. He smiled slightly. Predatory. You're my true mate, Cassia. I knew the moment your scent hit me beneath that veil. You're mine. Fated. Destined. The universe, the gods, whatever you believe, they sent you to me. She stared. This was insane. That's not possible. I'm nobody. You're everything to me. My mate. My queen. Mine. The word, possessive, claiming, made her shiver. I was supposed to marry Morgana. Political alliance. Cold. Dutiful. Instead, I got you, my true mate, hidden in her dress, sent to me by fate's twisted sense of humor. But the treaty, if they find out I'm not Morgana, the treaty fails. War resumes. Let me worry about the treaty. Right now, all that matters is you and me. And tonight. He stepped closer, crowding her space. You're mine tonight, and every night after. They sent me the wrong bride, but fate sent me the right one. She couldn't breathe, couldn't think. This was too much. I don't know how to be a queen, don't know how to be yours. I'm just a weaver's daughter. Then I'll teach you everything. But first, he cupped her face, gently, despite the intensity in his eyes. First, I need to know. Are you afraid of me? Was she? Yes, but not the way he thought. I'm afraid of disappointing you, of not being enough. You're more than enough. You're perfect. You don't know me. Then let me learn you, tonight, and every night after. He kissed her, not like at the ceremony. This was deeper, claiming, possessive. She gasped. He took advantage, explored, tasted. When he pulled back, both breathing hard. The marriage is legal, binding, consummated or not. But tradition expects evidence in the morning. She understood. You want to, tonight? I want to claim my mate, fully, completely. If you'll let me. Do I have a choice? Yes. Always. I won't force you. Won't take what's not freely given. Mate bond or not. You choose. She looked at him. This king who could have had her killed, who instead called her his mate, wanted her. Truly wanted her. I choose yes. What happened that night, Cassia would never forget. He was gentle, patient, asked permission for everything, made sure she was comfortable, safe, wanted. She'd never been with anyone. Never been kissed even before the ceremony. He knew, could tell. He took his time, made it good, better than good, perfect. After lying in his massive bed, wrapped in silk sheets, his arm around her, she felt overwhelmed. "Are you all right?" he asked, fingers tracing patterns on her shoulder. "I don't know. This is a lot. This morning I was at my loom, working. Now I'm in the king's bed, married. It's surreal." "I imagine so. For me too. This morning I thought I was marrying a stranger I'd never love. Political alliance, cold, empty. Now I have you, my mate. It's unexpected, but not unwelcome. What happens in the morning, when people realize I'm not Morgana?" "I handle it. Don't worry." "How can I not worry? The Duke will try to annul this, say it's fraud." "He can try, won't succeed. The marriage is legal, consummated, binding, magically sealed, can't be undone." "But the treaty specified Morgana, not me." "Details. We'll renegotiate, make it work." "You make it sound simple." "It won't be, but you're worth fighting for. Worth everything." She turned, looked at him. "Why? You don't even know me." "I know enough. You're brave, sacrificing yourself for your family. Strong, surviving what would break others. And you're mine. My mate. That's everything I need to know. I'm not brave. I'm terrified. Bravery isn't absence of fear. It's acting despite it. You did that. You're extraordinary, Cassia." No one had ever called her that. "I'm really not. You are. And I'll spend however long it takes convincing you." He kissed her, again and again, and the night stretched on. Morning came too soon. Cassia woke tangled in sheets. In him, reality crashed back. This was real. She was married to the king. He was awake, watching her. "Good morning, wife." "Good morning, husband." The word felt strange on her tongue. A knock at the door. "Your Majesty, the council requests your presence. There's been a development." Theron sighed. "Here we go. Stay here. I'll handle this." "What kind of development?" "Probably Duke Ashford confessing. Or someone noticed you're not Morgana. Let me come. I should face this." "No, you stay safe here." "Theron, please. This is my mess. Let me at least be present." He studied her, then finally, "All right, but you let me handle it." "Agreed?" Agreed. They dressed in formal clothes. She looked almost queenly in the gown provided. Her hair arranged by servants who didn't question. Didn't seem to notice she wasn't who they expected. Maybe the resemblance was closer than she thought. Or maybe servants just didn't look closely at nobles. At queens. She was invisible. Even wearing a crown. They walked to the council chambers together. His hand on her back. Possessive. Protective. The council was assembled. All 15 members. Duke Ashford stood separate, looking ill, terrified. They entered. Everyone stood. Bowed. "Your Majesty, Your Majesty." Addressing them both, Theron took his seat at the head of the table, gestured for Cassia to sit beside him. She did, hands shaking under the table. He found them, squeezed, reassuring. "Council, you requested this meeting. Explain." Lord Brennan, the eldest council member, spoke. "Your Majesty, we've received disturbing information about yesterday's wedding." "What information?" "Duke Ashford has confessed that the woman you married is not Lady Morgana." Silence. Heavy. Damning. Everyone stared at Cassia, at Theron, waiting for reaction. Theron leaned back, casual, unbothered. "I know." Shock. Complete shock. "You know?" "Of course I know. I'm not blind or stupid. She looks similar, but she's not Morgana." "But you married her anyway. Consummated the marriage." "Yes, because she's my true mate." More shock. Whispers. "Your mate, Your Majesty? She's common, a weaver's daughter. She can't be." "She is. I recognized her the moment I scented her beneath the veil. She's mine. Fated. The mate I've been waiting 5 centuries for." Duke Ashford spoke desperately. Your Majesty, please. This was my fault, my desperation. Don't punish the girl. Punish me. Oh, I intend to punish you, Duke, for coercion, for threatening an innocent, for fraud. But I won't annul this marriage, won't give up my mate because you panicked. But the treaty specified Morgana, not her. Then we renegotiate. The core agreement, peace between kingdoms sealed by marriage, stands. The marriage happened, just with a different bride. We adjust the terms. Make it work. Lord Brennan frowned. It's not that simple, Your Majesty. Valdris will feel deceived, betrayed. They could restart the war. Then we convince them otherwise, show them this marriage is legitimate, binding, beneficial. How? Leave that to me. He stood. This meeting is over. Cassia is my wife, my queen, my mate. Anyone who questions that, who disrespects her, who attempts to undermine this marriage, will answer to me personally. Understood? Silence, then reluctant nods. They were dismissed, filed out, leaving Theron, Cassia, and Duke Ashford. The Duke fell to his knees. Your Majesty, I'm so sorry. I was desperate, scared. I never meant for this to happen. Morgana ruined everything by running away. I just needed to save the treaty, save my people. By sacrificing an innocent girl, by threatening her family. Yes, it was wrong. I know. But what choice did I have? You could have been honest. Come to me. Explained. We could have worked something out. Instead, you committed fraud, coercion, put Cassia in danger. I know. I'll accept whatever punishment you decree. Just please, don't let the treaty fail. Don't let our people suffer. Theron looked at Cassia. It's your choice. He wronged you more than anyone. What would you have me do? She looked at the Duke. This man who'd threatened her family, forced her into marriage, into treason. She should hate him, want revenge, but she understood desperation. She'd felt it her whole life. He was wrong, but he was trying to save his people. I understand that. Don't execute him, punish him, yes, but let him live. Let him help fix this. Theron studied her, then nodded. You're more merciful than I'd be. Fine, Duke, you'll draft new treaty terms. Submit them to both kingdoms. Make this work, or the consequences will be severe. Understood? Yes, Your Majesty. Thank you both. He left quickly. They were alone. Cassia exhaled shakily. I can't believe that worked. It's not over. Valdris will have opinions, demands, but we'll manage. We? Yes, we. You're my queen now, my partner. We face this together. She smiled, her first real smile since this started. Together. I like that. The next weeks were difficult. Negotiations with Valdris dragged on. King Aldrich, Morgana's father, was not pleased. He demanded originally that the marriage be annulled. His daughter returned, or war would resume. Theron refused, stood firm. The marriage stands. Cassia is my true mate. I won't give her up. Not for peace, not for anything. Renegotiate the treaty, or we return to war. Your choice. It was a gamble. Aldrich could have chosen war, but his people were tired, suffering. He wanted peace more than pride. Finally, agreement was reached. New treaty. Same core terms, peace, trade, alliance, but with Cassia as queen instead of Morgana. And as compensation, additional trade concessions to Valdris. It was done. Official. The kingdoms were at peace. And Cassia was legitimately queen. In the castle, she struggled, learning etiquette, politics, court manners. She'd never been trained for this, never expected it. But she tried, and Theron was patient, supportive. He helped her, taught her, stood beside her always. The nobles were mixed. Some accepted her, admired her story, common girl becoming queen. Romantic. Others resented her. called her an upstart, a fraud, unworthy. She ignored them mostly, focused on learning, adapting. One day, 4 months in, she found Theron in his study, working. She knocked, entered. "Am I interrupting?" He looked up, smiled. "Never. Come in." She sat across from him. "I've been thinking about everything. This marriage started as fraud, desperation, coercion. But it's become real for me. I love you. I didn't expect to, but I do." He stood, rounded the desk, pulled her up into his arms. "I love you too. From that first moment, scenting you, knowing you were mine, it's only grown. You're everything, Cassia. Even though I'm common, unpolished, not what a queen should be. You're exactly what a queen should be. Strong, compassionate, real. You care about people, about doing right. That's more valuable than any noble training. The court doesn't think so. The court can adjust, or leave. I don't care. You're my queen, my mate, my love. That's all that matters." She kissed him, deeply, lovingly. When they pulled apart, she whispered, "I'm pregnant." He froze. "What?" "Pregnant, about 3 months. I wanted to be sure before telling you." His face transformed, pure joy. "We're having a child?" "Yes." He picked her up, spun her. Laughing. She laughed too. This was happiness. Real. Unexpected. Perfect. "I love you so much. I love you too. My king, my mate, my everything." Years later, 4 children ran through castle, halls, laughing, playing. Cassia watched from the garden, content, peaceful. Theron sat beside her. "Remember the wedding? When you thought you were going to die? Every day. I was terrified. And now? Now I'm grateful. That Morgana ran. That the Duke was desperate enough to choose me. That fate brought me to you. Me too. Best fraud ever committed." She laughed. "Probably shouldn't encourage fraud. Probably not. But in this case, I'll make an exception." He kissed her, softly, lovingly. Their children saw. Came running. "Ooh, mother and father are kissing again." "Get used to it," Theron said, grinning. "I plan to kiss your mother every day for the next 1,000 years. "That's a long time," their eldest son said. "Yes, but your mother is worth it. Worth everything." Cassia smiled, leaned into him. This life, this impossible, beautiful life started with terror, coercion, fraud, but became love, family, home, everything she'd never dreamed, never dared hope. And she was grateful, every single day.